We've been warning you about candidate Joe Biden and now President Joe Biden's proposed tax increases and assaults on your financial privacy for almost a year now. And while we did recently talk about some of Joe Biden's tax increases, particularly the capital gains tax nearly doubling under his plan that he's pushing through, there are now more tax increases, more assaults on your freedom. So we're talking about it yet again. We're going to go through 7 examples from the president's most recent speech on how he wants to raise your taxes and take more of your money. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson, the author of this book and the founder of Nomad Capitalist, where we help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors, the evil, greedy rich, according to Joe Biden and his cronies, legally, reduce their taxes, go where they're treated best. Those are our 5 magic words. You can learn more at nomadcapitalist.com. Okay, so I am not a political channel host. This is not a political channel. But we do obviously want to keep you up to date with the latest tax increase proposals that are happening not only in the U.S., but in many Western legacy brand countries around the world. And so Joe Biden gave a speech to Congress, a joint session, I suppose. I don't follow the politics of it, as I said, but thanks to a gentleman named Brian Ellis, we're going to go through all the different tax increases and other proposals that are going to hurt you, the hardworking, successful person. Now, before I do that, I will note that separately from all of this, the Biden administration is pushing through a change in the tax code to where basically if you make $75,000 or less, you're not filthy rich, but not exactly chump change. If you make $75,000 or less in the U.S., you will pay no federal income tax. That means a lot of people will be paying nothing to the government while telling you that you're a disgusting, greedy pig for not paying millions and tens of millions of dollars a year. Let's start with number 1. The top personal income tax rate, we've known this is coming, is raised from 37% to 39.6%. This affects all taxable income north of about $550,000 for singles and $650,000 for married couples. Again, there are going to be a whole new raft of people that will pay nothing under the proposal. We have known for some time Joe Biden wanted to take the top tax rate back to the Clinton era, back to the Obama era top tax rate, 39.6%. And so that is no surprise. Number 2, small landlords, manufacturers, and family farmers will be hit by a tax increase that limits deferred rollovers of rental and business real estate to $500,000 per property. They're saying yet another tax on the middle class. So if you have properties, if you're in manufacturing, if you have assets, your ability to reduce your taxes through things that they should be reduced by, you're making investments in your business, that's going to be dramatically reduced. And so that will hit a lot of people. Number 3, we've talked about this recently. You can't keep up with all the tax increases. I could just have the tax increase channel, quite frankly. The new 43.4% capital gains tax also means that so that's the first thing. Your capital gains taxes are going up from 23.8 up to 43.4 because he's basically going to apply that top marginal tax rate on the income tax level plus a levy on top of that. So it also means that the carried interest gains are taxed at this level. The plan goes further by ripping these out of partnership law entirely. So basically what they're saying is if you're in a sweat equity venture, this may not apply to everyone, but if you're in a sweat equity venture, you're going to get harder. Your taxes are going to go up because some of your income is going to be recategorized. Okay. Next, the Biden death tax, that's what they're calling it, the Biden death tax, is on top of the existing death tax. They call it an estate tax. Elizabeth Warren, they all want to take more of it, as if they haven't taken enough of your money. There's going to be, they say, a new Biden death tax on top of the existing tax. Once the Biden death tax is paid, the regular old death tax also has to be paid. The taxes cascade to a federal total of up to 66% before states get their cut. If you live in a state like California, you know how interested they are in getting their hands on your money. So imagine you live your entire life, you pay 40% to the feds, you pay your self-employment tax, you pay all the taxes for things that you're never going to get back. You know, they want to take the cap off Social Security, so you just pay endlessly. Joe Biden has talked about that. Haven't seen that so far in his current proposals. Did see that from candidate Joe Biden. But basically, you pay federal, you're going to pay into all the welfare programs where you just pay millions and millions of dollars a year potentially at some point to get your $2,000 a month back at 68 years old. You're going to pay state tax. You're going to pay all the taxes, then you're going to get lower deductions. And then when you die, they'll take 66%, plus maybe California dips its beak in there, gets that beak a little bit wet. Next on the list, the Biden tax plan. Oh, we covered that one. Oh, no, we didn't. There's just so many taxes to keep up with. The Biden tax plan creates a second death tax on top of the existing one. So we'll just kind of further explain the last one. 43.4% with a $1 million-ish exemption, but it kicks in much earlier than the current one. So just put those last two death taxes together and death becomes very expensive, quite frankly. I saw someone on social media saying only the government would see death as a taxable event. Okay, we talked about the long-term capital gains, so that's been discussed. Now, here's the last one that's very interesting. Not per se a tax. They're going to say they're going to go after tax cheats, and we've seen how well that's worked in other areas. But here's what they're going to do under the guise of going after tax cheats. The IRS, now if you're watching our channel, you know I'm the goody two-shoes of offshore, so if you're watching our channel, you're probably not a tax cheat. Because if you are, you know I won't help you. We like to do things, once again, legally. So, legal people who are doing things legally so often suffer under politicians who want to go after a small number of people doing things illegally, using that as the guise that sells politically. But here it is. The IRS would get an annual report on the money deposited and withdrawn from every bank account in the United States. The IRS will literally be snooping on your banking activity all the time. Money goes in, money comes out. Now, if you have offshore companies, if you have certain US companies that are operating overseas, you already have to file reports that shows how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. That's aggressive enough. Now they're saying you live in the US, we're going to report every transaction in and out of your bank account. So we've known for some time there's no financial privacy in the US. The Bank Secrecy Act basically says you have no bank secrecy. You can't go overseas and deposit money in banks without reporting that to the United States. And now they're going to bring that home to you. Now, for everyone who's in crypto, who's saying, well, I don't know how they're going to find me. Well, they're going to send you a form and say, check off what your holdings was, how much went into crypto, how much went out. And if you don't do it, you know what they're trying to do, that it's not part of this report? Elizabeth Warren wants to step up enforcement. She wants to literally increase enforcement many-fold. Not on everybody, only on wealthy people. Because Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden's good friend, believes that only wealthy people are cheats. And actually every wealthy person is a cheat, but they're the only ones. Nobody poor is cheating on their taxes, which I guess it's pretty hard to cheat on your taxes when you owe nothing and they continually to buy votes, exempt more and more people from paying taxes while allowing them more and more social privilege to point their finger at you for not paying the taxes. But they want more enforcement. They want to have a lot more money to come after people. I mean, they were talking tens of billions of dollars in new IRS enforcement money. That's not coming from Joe Biden. That's coming from other people in the party. But now they want to snoop on your every bank account. So they are going to tighten the noose. Listen, I've always said, do things legally. The beautiful thing is you have options. You have options for asset protection. You have options to obtain dual citizenship and have an exit plan. You have the option to just leave entirely. I've seen more and more people. I've been tagged in more and more posts all over social media, all over the internet, from people who are replying to their friends asking, it's getting pretty hopeless, and I never thought I would leave the US. I never thought I'd leave Australia. I never thought I'd leave Germany. But I'm starting to ask myself that question, and this is why. Because the noose is tightening. Now, people will say, you can't go anywhere else. Australia's doing the same thing. Yeah, that's why you don't go to Australia. You don't go to the exact same country that's the exact same thing. You find a place that's free and open and embodies the values of low taxes, entrepreneurship, financial privacy to some extent, that the US used to. This is coming down, and as I've said recently, you don't get points for predicting Joe Biden's tax increases. You get points for protecting yourself from them. Years ago, I cut my ties with the US, not even because I wanted to save money on taxes, because I was legally paying, if not zero, very little in taxes. But I knew that worse things would come down the pike. I knew more restrictions would come down. And as you can see, it's not just higher taxes, it's also just they own you. They want to own your life. They want to know every move you make. I wanted to exit that system. I did. I've never felt better. I've never had more peace of mind. I've had people who've met me and said, hey, you look a lot calmer than you did 5 years ago. What's changed? I don't have to deal with this stuff anymore. You can do that too. You can jump all in, as I've done. You can baby step your way there. But this is only getting worse. And simply sitting around saying, I bet Joe Biden's going to raise taxes. Yeah, we all know that. What are you doing to protect yourself from that? What are you doing to make sure that you get to keep more of the money that you're working hard for while so many of the people contribute nothing? How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number one, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number two, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number three, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number four, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.